Good evening, everyone. Good evening, our dear viewers. Inywe n'abatoro kati nituburamuca mu ibara rya mukama waitu Yesu Kristo twasemerwa okusobora kubatangatangana mu rwebagi rwaitu rwa kiro kinuna amabara nibanyeta omulisa Abel Kirikaija kandi ninyewe yatandikiraho porogaramu yaitu enu enunge barikweta Voice of Tooro from the Diaspora. Amakuru gacu nibyo iraka rya Tooro kuruga aheru ya Mayanja. So omukiro kinuna semerirwe kubaletera omugenyi waitu omukuru barikweta Mr. Steven. Kiro kinuna wakuba nagenda kubaza hamwe na inywe. Actually he's a social worker and he's the CEO of a program called Platform for the Needy. So he's the CEO of this wonderful organization. So it is going to be our key topic today. Nimbasaba muheyo obwire bwanyu mutubuliriza from the start until the end, and encourage you also to share this broadcast to some many other people because it is going to be helpful to someone. Then ekintu kindijo niyetaga kubamanyisa ni programu yaitu enune eri mu ndimi ibiri, eri mu rurimi orujungu English, our official language for Ugandan nationals, kandi eri no mu rurimi rwaitu rw'enzawa Tooro. So nziga kuba ntubagamenye using both languages to make sure that this information is clearly understood by everyone. So ninjakuterayo ekizina kimu kyonka nituleta mmoja arutera mbere programu yetu kuba successful n'okusiima Ruhanga habwokuba abeire mulungi ekizina nikigamba Yesu mulungi muno. Leka tumusiime Mukama. Kikaterwa aba Emerald Gospel Singers okuruga Fort Portal kiri mu rurimi rwaitu rw'enzago Tooro habwokuba mu programu yaitu enuna promoting talent of young people on this program, promoting our traditional music and our Tooro music, our Tooro songs. So I'm so happy to play this song and I'm sure you will all enjoy it. Ruhanga mulungi muno, just buliriza. Very soon we will connect, we will start.
Yesu we babazi wengonzi nyigi obunsina haluwe semberewa ebizibu byange byona abimanaho Yesu mulungi akirize ndwara ahaire ngubabana leka tukukize omuhagi waitu tumusime akwati manye mukama Yesu mulungi mwite tumukukize mukizina iwe leka yawe amahaire omulenzi leka tusime omuhagi waitu uwetane ya Yuda aya tutunile tumwimuche waiguru nuwasemberire iwe onyina omukisa omumeza inawa muhendo aroha batasobola kubaza obulungi bwa Mukama waitu. Iwe obolaba ojwaire muno habwenyikara eyolumu Yesu waitu agina mani okukwimucha ganjani yange ekokukora kibu ijja hali Yesu arakusimbuza esebe yekibi ochangaluke naruhanga wange obwikulu ebitaliwawo yesu mulungi bwite tumukugize mukizina iwendeka yawe amahaire obulenzi leka tusimbe omuhangi waitu nuwaitane ya yuda ayatujunire tumwimuke waiguru nuwasemberire iwe onyina omukisa omumeza inawa muhendo aloha batasobora kubaza obulungi bwa mukama waitu. Yesu mulungi bwite tumukugize mukizina iwendeka yawe amahaire obulenzi leka tusimbe omuhangi waitu onyina omukisa omumeza inawa muhendo aloha batasobora kubaza obulungi bwa mukama waitu.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, our dear people. Thank you very much. Yes, wait already. Ninkuhereza akazindaro kendele introduce yourself. Arale, kendele introduce yourself.
Hello?
Na kwasa akazindaro kendele introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you very much, Pastor, for giving me this opportunity to host me in this program of Irakali Tooro, the voice of Tooro, which bears the name of the radio that I work with, that is Voice of Tooro. So it's a very good opportunity, and I'm here now as the executive director and the founder of Platform for the Needy. It is a charity organization based in Fort Portal, operating in the Rwenzori region. And I started this organization in 2010 as a community-based organization, but later upgraded in 2014 when I registered as a national NGO. So I registered with a national NGO bureau, and it's fully registered as an NGO. We're operating in the Rwenzori region, but we are based in Fort Portal. That's where we are located. Our focus area as Platform for the Needy, our programs, we focus on general health awareness, we do promotion, social security, where we look at the security for women, rights, we look at the rights of children, economic empowerment, looking at the teenage mothers and women, and then prevention of violence against children and women. We are looking at gender-based violence, not forgetting all human rights promotions and the mitigation of the impacts of violence against the children and women and youth. So those are the major areas that we are in. Not forgetting that we are also in the education for the needy children. Having programs that we are implementing are aimed at the educational support to the orphans and needy children in the area, which was our major aim why we started this organization. And by providing scholastic materials, giving them books, pens, pencils, shoes, uniform, and tuition, that empowering these the young the young children to access education. We focus on most needed children who are orphans and needed children who have no parents, or they have maybe a single parent and the parent is unable to provide to provide the child with some scholastic materials. And as you know that in Uganda and most parts of the rural areas, the most of the women are unable, because they're engaging in agriculture, and most of the agricultural produce, even the market is not there. If it is there, it is low. So that we look at that. We also have empowerment, where we encourage them to start income generating activities. More especially, we focusing on the girls and women, and it starts something that for the livelihoods. So of recent, we started a program of educating children to conserve and protect the environment, starting planting trees around schools, the school compounds, and we believe that they can learn, get the knowledge, and transfer the knowledge to their parents, and they can do the same at home. And by doing this, we shall be mitigating the effects of climate change. And we know that climate change is a global issue, not only affecting me, but also you, the children, and women. But when you come to the developing countries, the most affected people are children and women, because they're the ones who fetch firewood, and when it is not there, they are the ones who are suffering. So we started this, and we encourage the children to plant trees around the schools, and then go to communities and do the same. And we believe that that one can change the trends. And we also have a program of sexual reproductive health. This one, we go to communities and carry out what we call dialogues and healthy conferences, and we're talking about family planning and having manageable families. Yeah, you know that in Uganda the fertility rate is high, 2 point something, and this one is, of course, I mean, 5 point something, and this one with the limited resources, the land and what have you, and even an employment situation that we are going through. So you find that if we don't talk to the people, and they start looking at the strategies of maybe having manageable families, so then we are going to have problems of resource scarcity. And with the resource scarcity, of course, that one brings now conflicts. It brings violence in families, and people will die. So that's what we are doing. So in schools, we move to schools and educate the children on their sexual rights. We have girls who have dropped out of school because they lack sanitary pads. So we talk to them and to look at how they can improvise, and even making the local parts that can help them and stay in school. We also talk about the sexual rights, how they are young, they are not supposed to go into sex, but those who cannot abstain, we at least we talk to them to have it protected. They can get protected instead of going there, and then they get HIV/AIDS, they get pregnant, and they move out of school. So those are the programs that we have. Under that program, we have the Girls Matter Mentorship, where we talk to the girls separately, because they have different issues affecting them, and we encourage them to become future leaders. So we train them the leadership skills, and in school, in the community, and even when they start homes, like if they start families after they've acquired education, they've got married, and how they can look after their families. Likewise, to the boys, we have the same, where we meet them differently. It is called the Boys Matter mentorship, or coaching boys to become responsible men. So we do the same. We teach them the skills of becoming the future leaders of this. We teach them skills of becoming responsible men once they start their families. And we believe that when the moment they get the knowledge and the skills, they can protect themselves. That's one. They will know, once they are protected, they will not get the diseases like HIV, AIDS. They will not move out of school. They will concentrate on their education. They will complete education. And when they are done, they get jobs. They become responsible people at work. When they get married, they can also become responsible men. So those are the programs that we are mainly focusing on as the platform for the needy, and not forgetting the water and sanitation and hygiene provision in those communities, because as we are working with women, we see there are women. Once we don't work on the sanitation and hygiene, then it remains a very big problem. So that I told you, we started in 2010, and we are fully registered with the Uganda National NGO Board. Our number is 10895, and the organization has developed capacity and recognition in enhancing health promotion programs, advocating for the protection of children and women's rights, with the emphasis on the girl child, youth and teenage pregnancies. I mean, youth and teenage mothers empowerment. So, caring and improving the lives of the vulnerable people. The focus is on empowering the lives of the vulnerable people. So we have the board which is in place. We are 7 members headed by me. Others are primary school teachers, and 2 community members. One is a carpenter and another one is a farmer. And we have the board of trustees, where we have the Bishop of Renzol Diocese, the Right Reverend Robin Sembo Amoti. We also have Dr. Father Pascal Kabura, who is the director of Bishop Magambo Counselor Training Institute in Fort Portal Diocese. We have Dr. Fred Sinjire, who is the secretary of Kampala Diocese, the Catholic Diocese in Kampala. We have Catherine Kemigabo, who is the senior health educator, Kabroli District Local Government. And we have Grace Mugasa Karungi, who is the country director of Christ Aid International. It is an international NGO based in the United States, but they do have programs here educating children, and have schools. They have a hospital where they provide some health insurance to the grandmoms. So those are the members that we are working with as a platform for the needy, and they do advise, they do encourage us to take a step. And as you asked me to talk about our vision, and our vision is that to promote empowerment programs for better health, education, and livelihoods for the disadvantaged population. So that is our mission. We aim at promoting empowerment programs in health, education, and livelihood. So when we see that we are educated, people have the information, healthy wise, and their livelihoods, they are empowered, they have something to do to generate income, we shall have a free violence society. Our mission is a just, knowledgeable, and violence-free society that responds to the rights of the most vulnerable population. So we believe that people can, if the people are knowledgeable, and we shall have a free a free violence society where people can have peace, they cooperate, they love each other, and there is no fighting, there is no conflicting over maybe land issues, because we also sensitize them on land rights. So that is what we do as the platform for the needy. And our goal is contributing to a violence-free society. That is that is our goal. We aim that at least if people get the information, they are knowledgeable, they are being empowered with either information, or maybe they are empowered getting the skills in savings and credit, in engaging in income generating activities in a small scale. We believe that now we shall have a violence free society. And we also believe that when you educate a child becomes empowered, and then we find that the child now gets employment, is free, even when he's debating, he is an empowered youth, and there will be no violence in community. So that is the brief about the platform for the needy. Reason why I started this organization is one, I grew up like an orphan. I have my mother. I have both parents, my father and my mother, but my parents had separated. My mother was staying in Chenjojo, my father was staying in Unyangavu, and I grew up not knowing my father. It is my mother who was taking care of me. So when I passed the primary 7, that was in 1987. That's when I passed the primary 7, and I got 8 aggregates. I was among the best in the whole district. So I was taken to Nyakasura School. I was admitted at Nyakasura School, but of course my parents were poor, could not manage. They wanted to take me to Maddox Senior Secondary School in Chenjojo. I refused. They wanted to take me to Mpanga Senior Secondary School. I refused, because at that time Mpanga they were taking of second grade and the third grade. So I said no. But they had to look for the funds, and I went to Nyakasura. Unfortunately, when I reached there, I fell sick. I had problems, so I left school. I had a conflict with my family. It was a lot of violence. We had domestic violence. So I'm a victim of domestic violence. So one time I had to go for an operation, an eye operation, in, excuse me, in Malabo. And the doctor who operated me, Dr. Kaif, was working with African Inland Mission. It is a United Kingdom London based organization, but working in Africa. So when I finished, he remained with my contacts. When he came looking for me, they found I had dropped out of school, and he sent me a doctor, and that doctor, an African doctor, came and picked me from home. So I reached at the hospital, that is Kabarole Hospital. Oh, I had a conversation with him. He told me, you are going for an operation in Kagando. I accepted to go to Kagando for an operation. My auntie was very near. I called her, and she signed for me. So we went to Kagando. I had an operation. Immediately after the operation, I was taken to Mbarara with him, just to enjoy life, to have Easter with him. From there, we went to Kampala, enjoying. Then after like 4 months, I said I'm leaving, and he asked me, what are you going to do now? I said I'm not going back to school because I have a problem at home. I have there is violence at home. My stepmothers don't want me to study, and so I left him. I told him my parents are poor, they cannot support me. So he said, okay, you go, and maybe after 2 weeks, you go and see one of the Muzungus in Kagote. And I went there in Kagote looking for that Muzungu when I reached there, the Mzungu gave me the money, gave me the beddings and the other things that one needs to go to school. So I was taken back to Nyakasura and started. In Nyakasura, I had just studied one term during my senior one, but when I reached there, and of course I had performed well, I was during that term, my first term, so I was taken to second year. Second year, I mean in second is in senior two. So oh my God. So from there, I continued studying, but suffering headache, and I could not read during the night because of the problems, the eye problems. So I could read at night, and at night, of course, that's when I'm writing the notes. So I was suffering a lot. So I finished, fortunately, I finished my senior four. After senior four, he said, now let me escape Kampala and study from Kampala. I studied from Kampala. When after senior six, when I was going to do exams during that time, that was 1996, we are doing exams in April. And in April, on Friday, Monday, we are going to be having briefings. Then on Tuesday, on Wednesday, I start my economics paper. And that's when I fell sick. Seriously, I developed diarrhea, and blood was oozing out. And I asked myself, what is this? So I was admitted. I did my exams when I was admitted. I came out knowing that I had failed completely, but good enough. I escaped death. So I came back home. When reaching home, I could not settle there. I went to my auntie's place. I started even digging and planting tomatoes, knowing that my life had ended of studying. But when the results came, thank God that I had passed very well, and it was just 1.5 to go to the university on government sponsorship. And I said, my parents are poor, I cannot go to the second grade, I mean to university on private sponsorship. Now what do I do? I was admitted at the Masindi National Teachers College for teaching diploma. So I knew that after the 2 years of the diploma, I would go to the university and to Makerere, upgrade and get a degree. That's what all I wanted. But unfortunately, I ran almost mad, and they left all the things at the college. I went to Mulago for treatment. They found they had no disease. They went to Mengo, the same, and they had to go to Memzungu. In Mbarara, I found he wasn't. They had gone to Lacho in Arua. I found a German doctor, and he looked at me. I had nothing. He only gave me some painkillers and injections in the neck around the head. So he told me to go home. I went home and rested. From there, life continues. I joined this. I left now studying. I went to I started teaching in primary. From there, went to Canon Apollo for teaching. Then from there, when I finished, I said, now let's join journalism. Now, when I joined journalism, that's when I was exposed to a lot of human rights violations. Women were being battered, children being neglected and abandoned at police in communities, people, a lot of violence in communities, and similar to what I was experiencing. Now I said, why can't I start platform for the needy? So with that exposure and experience, so I decided to start platform for the needy as a platform for the voiceless. And so it was the inspiration of Dr. Kaif, who sponsored my education from senior 2 up to senior 6. And he was even operating me whenever I could have an eye problem, and he could operate me at a free cost. He could give me everything. So I said I should also start a platform where I can advocate for the rights of vulnerable people, more especially the needy children who are the orphans the orphans and those who cannot get support. So that's when I started Platform for the Needy. Yes, Pastor. Yes, hello.
Thank you very much
Yes.
for your. So I thank you very much for very insightful and very great work that you are doing towards for our people in Tooro, because we need we need companies like Platform for the Needy, so that we can help everybody, even the from the from the scratch until the high level. We really appreciate. So ekintu kindi ijo, um, nateekaho haraho ka screen kana hariho some videos zizinteireho, like some of the reference. I hope you will need them.
The what?
Hariho video zimwe zinteireho ziri our
Mm.
YouTube channel, so mbere ninsaba osoborore aba viewers baitu what was the economic activity taking place, so
Mm.
so that we will move forward. So video isatu ezinkwijja kukola ezinkwijja kusharinga, hariho emu neyoleka ba ambassadors, hariho emu neyoleka abaana abarukuha obujulizi abawayambire. I think those are
Mm.
reference of some of the objectives, some of the activities that you have completed in your project. So
Yeah.
if you still have some more information, share. But should I first give you some time and you complete, then we will share them at the end?
Okay, it's okay. Or you can maybe first play them, then I come back.
Okay.
One,
Yes,
should we
because you.
first play them or I first continue?
Okay, you first continue. I suggest that you first continue, but I felt that maybe you need a short break and continue. That's why.
Mm. Okay, we can have a break, and then after, when we come back, we can have
Yes.
the projects that we have completed.
Okay, okay, thank you. So in the break, I will be playing some of the videos, and I'm sure you will enjoy the work Platform for the Needy is doing. Mwebale muno kutuuliriza.
Okay, thank you.
Mm.
2022, Piato Wangwera, plain software volunteer and student in the US, launched a campaign to raise funds to support the education of Ugandan vulnerable children. The campaign debut, Community Education Project, was embraced by his mom, Anna Botieng Wangwera, her family and community. Anna Botieng has accepted to be our Thailand ambassador to spread the organization's mission and brand among her communities. Under this project, they mobilize funds for the purchase of scholastic materials like books, pens, pencils, soap, uniform, and fees to enable the most vulnerable children access education. On Friday 11th August 2022, Plain handed over the items and fees to the children and their guardians at a colorful ceremony held at St. Peter and Paul Primary School, Fort Portal Tourism City. The event was presided over by Dr. Father Pasco Kabura, Plain board member and the director of Bishop Magambo Counselor Training Institute, and witnessed by Reverend Sarah Kacho, Head Health Department, Rwenzori Diocese. Both commended Piato, her mother, family, and the Thailand community for the initiation and support to Ugandans. Plain management and her Ugandan community are appreciative for the amazing support towards our children. We appeal for continuity support and relationship with you and other global volunteers and ambassadors so as to transform the lives of Ugandans and develop the organization.
Okay, thank you very much. Mwebale kutuuliriza inywena aba viewers baitu. Mwebale kuconnectinga hamwe naitu mu rubaju rwaitu rwa kiro kinuuna. Mwebale kuhayo obwire bwanyu kusupportinga program zaitu here on Akim TV. So omukaire kanuuna ninja kwongera nimbasharingaho video endiijo eyine obujulizi eyine bimwe ebintu eby'amaani platform for the needy eby'orukora abantu baitu ba Tooro mazimakwe abaana nibasoma mazimakwe abaana bali mu masomero bafunire obuyambi abakazi bafunire obuyambi ensinganto zifunire obuyambi okuraba mu kitongole kyaitu ekya platform for the needy so ninja kubaplayingiraho VDM mukama bampeere omugisa mwebale bambi okuconnectinga hamu nanyu.
So for the needy, for the help they have given me, soap, books, pencils, pens, and the money. I thank Anna and Piato for the help they have offered to me. I used to struggle for the books. I used to go to the market, sell some tomatoes, but now I have got the books. I thank you.
My name is Ampere Prison. My school is Gavanda Model. I thank Anna and Yato. They have given me books, pencils, and pens, soap, and I thank them. God bless.
Shengereza Yoweri. I study in Panga Senior Secondary School. I thank the platform for the needy for the help they have given me. They have given me books, soap, pens, because I could not manage to support myself, but for their help and their presence, I have managed to achieve the goals I need in my future. They give me fees, books, so I'm what I am because of platform for the needy. I really appreciate them. The challenge before at school, I could be just all the time because of school fees. When I met them, and I'm now settled at school, so far the situation is good.
Yeah, the platform for the needy, which I am an advisor to this organization, is a local NGO started by young people here in Fort Potro and the areas around, intended to address the local issues, among them domestic violence, poverty, and addressing peace in the family. Right now, what the function they have been doing is they have raised some funds to buy some scholastic materials to help the poor children. Of course, they cannot reach everybody, but at least the few they are able to support. It's a big help to keep them in school, especially the girl children.
Otyo muno webale muno arali okungumisirizaho mwebale nainywe abahuliriza baitu mwebale muno our dear viewers for connecting live with us. So arali mbaini nkusaba oyongera ogumuzemu with your information and give more details and more activities which platforms for the needy which has done for our people in Tooro region.
Okay, thank you, Pastor. When we had just started in 2010, I wrote a small consultant to the district of Kaburole district, and we managed to get around 3.5 million shillings, and we used that money to buy goats. We purchased goats from Oihamba. There were 30 goats, so we gave them out to women groups or the widows and some needy women in Kabahango, in Yembeire, Kabahango, Somoro villages in Buhe sub-county, that is in Bunyangabu district. And thank God they have those who have kept them, looked after them. They have been helped by this goat project, Goat for Life, and they most of them have around 7 goats. Others they have sold them just to help them go for treatment. I mean to get some money to go for treatment. Others for the education of their children, but at least they have some goats that they have remained with around 3-4, and this is a very big project that much it was small amount, but it created an impact to the lives of these people. So that one was done in 2011. We had a program of malaria control in schools and in community. We moved to 56 schools and 60 something, around 63 in communities, in trading centers where we were targeting where there are many people. And that was done in 2018, but we did this one in partnership with the PACE Uganda, and we are sensitizing the children and the community on malaria prevention and control. And we achieved this one because during that time, Dr. Richard Mugahi was the DHO, District Health Officer of Kabarole District, and they found out during at the health facilities, the malaria rate, the rate at which malaria was reported was very high. The prevalence was very high. It was 57, and we moved now to these schools and communities, sensitizing the people, using the drama, talking to the people how people can get the mosquito bites can encroach them, and the mosquito bites can invade them just because of the poor environment they are living in, the sanitation around their homes, not sleeping in the mosquito nets, these mosquito treated nets. And yet the government of Uganda had distributed the mosquito nets. So we're educating the people, and maybe the violence sometimes it resulted to failure to utilize these mosquitoes. Like for example, when a man comes very drunk, just disturbs the wife, and they maybe puts off the net, they sleep without the net, and then the mosquitoes come and bite them, and tomorrow they already have malaria. They spend a lot of money to buy the drugs and for treatment. So we managed to control it to at least 15%, from the 57% to 15% at the health facilities. So by 57, we mean that if there were 100 patients who went to the facility to seek for treatment, I mean to go for checkup at the health facility, out of 100, 57 had malaria. So they were treated, they were diagnosed and found they had malaria and treated them. And it was costly for the district. It was, and people were just consuming drugs like nothing, and there were problems of stockouts in most of the health facilities. So we had to reduce this to 15%, meaning that if 100 people went for checkup at the health facility, if they had any complaint, maybe body pains or maybe fever and whatever, they would find out of 115 people have malaria. So that's how we reduced it. That was in 2018. We have this program of education for the orphans and the vulnerable children. So far we have 67, but we started with 3, 2, and the Joel, the one you have just played, is our pioneer that we started with. Is now in senior 5. He's doing PCB stroke mathematics. So is one of the pioneer of these programs, and other students in the same. So this is a project that we are doing, and we are progressing well. We have a project on violence against women and children, the gender-based violence, and this one has continued, and we use the approach of the drama, where we have the drama which runs every Monday to Friday on Voice of Tooro. That is from 6:10 a.m. to 6:30. So it plays for 10-12 minutes, and then we have around 7 minutes for the interaction, for people for the audience to interact, and they give solutions. We also use the radio, where we have the radio called the radio program called the Family Clinic. It's like a clinic where you go when you are sick, you are being diagnosed, and they treat you. They give you medicine, and you come out of the clinic when you are okay, you are healed. Or this one, the radio, also we tackle issues affecting the family, the social, spiritual, health, economic, and sometimes political when it comes to the political season, when in campaigns. So we also guide people on how to get to elect good leaders. So we have that program which runs on Voice of Tooro. We also use, as I told you, we use the dialogues. We go to communities, we go to and conduct dialogues. We have we have healthy conferences, and we even go to church. Now we have started going to the church. Like today, I was in a Wehamba town church of Uganda, and we are preaching the gospel of having a peaceful family. That is, we are looking at this program of violence against children and women in a family. So that's what we are doing. Then we have charity. We have charity campaign. There's something back there is when I sent you a poster to share with your colleagues and to help a gentleman who was suffering from eye problem, and he wanted to have an operation. So we move on radio and with a charity. In this charity campaign program, we have helped very many people. We helped the abandoned triplets in Bukuku sub-county. After they were produced, they were taken, and the man had no support, had no money. He was hopeless, so he decided to abandon the children and their mother. So the mother also had as someone, if the husband can abandon, now what of the wife? Now the wife was also hopeless at home with nothing to eat. She had to take the children to the council, the district council, seeking for help. They could not help. They only got 120,000, which could not help them. So we decided to launch a campaign to raise money. We raised money. We built a house for this lady. She had no house. She was in a fiber thatched house, banana fiber thatched house. So we built for her a house. We mobilized the clothes, we mobilized the beddings, we mobilized the food, etc. That whatever is needed in a home, and she was very happy, and the community was also happy. We also have we have helped someone called Brian who had suffered a heart disease from Dubai. When he was diagnosed that he had a hole in the heart, so he was given a pacemaker. Coming here, he could not manage the pacemaker that he had been given. It was modern. He had to go to Nairobi, but he could not go to Nairobi because he had no money for the flights and what have you. So we launched a campaign. We moved to schools, we moved to churches, we moved to on radio every day. So we got money, and he's healed right now. He's giving testimonies. He's in a church. He's singing. He's in Kidukuru Church of Uganda. He's among the church choir members, and he's doing some urban farming around the home. So we had someone with an eye problem. He also needed some money. We mobilized money, and he was operated from Ibali. He was operated from this clinic here in Fort Portal, just opposite Centenary Bank. We also had recently, we had another person with an eye problem, the one I sent, the post I sent to you. So we mobilized the money on radio, and he was operated. He's now doing well. He's giving a testimony. You can now see. But he, for the 19 years, he had not been seeing. Then we had a campaign also where we mobilized someone who had an accident because of the eclipse. He felt someone, he had an accident, and he lost he was unconscious. So he had problems. He was renting with his children, 3 children, and they had no food. So we mobilized and we had to get for him food with partners, those people living in the US, for one of the Reverend Sarah, and they had to send us some money, like that group of viewers of the global, the global what network. So the Tooro in the US. So they sent us some little money. We added ours, and it did something, and the money is now somehow okay. The children, we paid money for 3 years. We paid even lunch for 3 years, and they are now enjoying life. And among other small issues, recently there's a lady who approached me, and she had a child also had a hole in the heart, and she needed an the baby is 7 years, needed an operation. They wanted the 44 million shillings to go outside, but they had no money. So I, in cooperation with one of the NGOs in Kampala, so they got for me. We had an opportunity, and they got for me somewhere in Japan, where no, in Italy, where she's going to be operated. So I followed her. I sent everything that they needed, and they are now going to take her in around October for an operation in Italy. So that's the work that we are doing. And achievements, yes, we are in the community, we are known, and we have recently attracted some volunteers online and intern students working for us from different parts of people from Dubai. We have students from Oman. We have from Turkey. We have from US. We have Netherlands. We have UK. So there are many that are joining us to work online for different activities. We recently had a lady a gentleman who launched a fundraiser, and also raised some little money with her mom, and they became ambassadors from Thailand. I think you had. They are now working with us to see that we build the communities with that project of theirs called the community education project. So that's what we are doing. We are looking for ambassadors, people to work with from abroad, locally here. We're looking for partnerships and support from different individuals who are passionate and generous about the work that we are doing, so we can work together and ensure that the people of Rwenzori region and their lives are changed. So that is about the achievements and some of the projects that we have done, and we have seen that what. Recently, when COVID-19 hit Uganda, we experienced a surge of teenage pregnancies and early marriages. So, in partnership with our volunteer from the Netherlands, Dr. Elizabeth, so we started a campaign and to draft some paint, write some poems which we used to take to the children in schools. So we printed out books. The project is called Our Dreams. Teenage pregnancies, early marriage is a nightmare. So we are distributing them to different schools so that the children can get messages about the dangers of teenage pregnancies and early marriages. And it was a very good project. People liked it. I think I sent you some pictures on since you saw them. So those are some of the projects that we are doing. And right now I have a volunteer from Spain. He's working also on poems on environment conservation, and we are taking them to schools also to enable these children to get the knowledge and for protecting and conserving the environment. One of the challenge we are getting there is just printing these books, designing and printing them out, and sometimes maybe distribution in terms of transport is the only problem. So Here that's my appeal. We are appealing for maybe ambassadors who would come in and spread the message of what Platform for the Needy is doing. We are seeking for the partners, individuals or maybe companies who are willing to come and extend a helping hand to this organization so that we change the lives of the people and have a violence-free society.
Okay. I thank you very much, Arali, for your brief explanation. Webale muno, I'm very convinced that nti abahuliriza baitu boona buli omu amanyire platform for the needy nicyo kiki kandi platform for the needy ino mugaso ki abantu baitu aba Tooro na Uganda yona at large. Webale muno Arali kandi webale muno egi emirimo emirungi eyokolire abantu baitu n'abantu boona aboyambire kuraba mu kino ekitongole kyaitu kya platform for the needy. So ekintu kindiija hariho obuntu bubiri obwogizire bwobalizeeho akantu kamu ngambire that presently platform for the needy as an organization values people very much. He knows that people are resources. So presently they need people who are willing to work to be team members, people who are willing to contribute their skills towards the development of platform for the needy, people who are having the same passion for helping our Ugandan community, people who are having the passion for helping our Tooro regions. To be part of platform for the needy, you can either be a partner, you can be a sponsor, you can be an ambassador, you can do any role according to your expertise. So whatever in the area of expertise or in the area you are very professional and helpful to platform for the needy, you are highly welcome, and we mostly prioritize people who are willing to be the volunteers, because a platform for the needy is a platform where we are supporting people for free without expecting anything in return. Like nkono omwana waitu bambi omutooro ono omusigazi bakamuyamba okuruga mu nasare yasoma primary hati nibagamba ali mu senior 5 nakora PCB. You see, so we don't have anything that we profit that we will collect from him through paying for him school fees. So that's why we need people who are really willing to volunteer and support this progress. And I'm sure that every hand that gives, God always provides for it. Every seed you give is like everything that you give, support your friend or support another people is like a stroke, like a seed. So its reap and its harvest is always plenty. So ekintu ekya kabiri, ekintu ekindi ekimbere ninyetaaga kukaguza Arali.
Yes, please.
What challenges are you currently facing since you officially registered platform for the needy, like a non-profitable organization? So up
Most
to
of the
now,
challenges, most of the challenges that we get is when we ask for partnerships. We have moved in Kampala. We have around even the region seeking for partnerships with those indigenous NGOs, but people have negative perception. People have negative attitude towards partnerships, so they don't want to partner with some people, or maybe they want to move alone, prosper alone, and leave some people behind. So that's the bad thing, that one of the most challenges that I've experienced. Secondly, is the overwhelming number. There are very many people with the complex diseases who approach me, people with needed problems. I mean, with a lot of needs, like their houses are down, and people have no school fees. Maybe women have been chased away from the home. People with HIV/AIDS, and they are on drugs. They have children. They are suffering. They are single mothers, and they have nowhere to stay, and sometimes they have nothing to eat. So or they don't have any income generating activity that can help them gain anything. So those are the most of the challenges that I have faced. And even a problem of transport, moving to communities and spread this gospel, because for us we want to people to get the knowledge, to get the information, so that we can change their mindset. But even now, when we're in Roihamba, they were asking us to go and talk to the people, to the community again, because there is a lot of domestic violence. People are fighting in communities there, and there's a lot of drunkenness. But we experience a problem of transport. We don't have transport to move in these rural communities, and we have not got what we call sustainable funding, because we find most of the funding is just mobilizing from the people, and it is not enough to help the children, the needy people. And we do referral, we do connect. I have connected some women to some organization, and more especially those the grandmoms and who are suffering. They have nothing to eat. They are alone in the house. I have connected them to some organization here, and they have been helped, given health insurance. They have been given some. They have been given some shelter or accommodation, built for them houses. So that is an achievement also, but the number is overwhelming, and we have not got maybe financial support that is sustainable. And right now we are seeking partnership with the churches. We are moving to different churches, seeking partnerships. If we can, maybe they can help us fundraise for a cause, maybe twice a year, maybe after 6 months they do some fundraising. We believe that one can work. So that is what we are doing. And also with the volunteers that now since we are getting now global volunteers and we are getting partners, we believe they can preach the gospel, and then the organization also gets visibility, hence support maybe from the global the global community.
Okay. Webale munarali ebyobalize byona kintu ija kubigarukamu ekimanyire nti n'omufu w'amatwe naakura habw'okubiraka ryawe riri very audible and clear, n'orujungu rwawe ruri very fluent. So omukaire kanuna mbere ninkusaba okole closing remarks. So mu closing remarks mbere ninsaba osimeho abantu ababaire riri faithful with you in this journey.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Pastor, and thank you very much for giving me the opportunity, and also for accepting to be our ambassador in that area. We appreciate, and even giving us the opportunity to be on your TV for now the second time. I also take the opportunity to thank Voice of Tooro, because they have given us the platform to talk to the people, and we have been working with them. So the management has been so good. And I also thank you for remembering the community of Tooro to start a program of Voice of Tooro, which reflects the name of Voice of Tooro Radio here. It means now you're at heart with the Tooro community. So I appreciate. I also appreciate the staff and the board members of Platform for the Needy. I appreciate the community, the leadership, the community development office of Kabarori and Fort Potro, where we have worked together, and even Pressed Aid International, the director, she has been so supportive to me, more especially when it comes to local fundraising around here. So they have been so supportive. So thank you very much. I only appeal to any viewer who is generous. Remember that a hand that gives receives. So I'm appealing for any support, maybe for any volunteer, any to come in as maybe an ambassador, then preach the message of hope, the message of violence against children and women, the message of hope to the orphans and needy children in Kabarole and Fort Poto, and help these people who are underprivileged, so that their lives can be transformed. So I also ask you to, maybe if you cannot support, you can share our website link, our website URL to maybe to a group or maybe to any church or any friend, and we know that you can gain visibility, and with gaining visibility we are reaching many people, and that is a very good support. So we are pleased for this gesture. Thank you very much for your support, and even the viewers, thank you very much for tuning to Akim TV. I think it has been good, and it's good for promoting people locally and internationally. So I believe there will be change in the communities. Thank you very much, and have a blessed night.
webale
And
munara
might
webale
be
munara
for someone, excuse me, for someone who would like maybe to reach me and find out, you can just go on the website on www.platformfortheneedy.org. You'll get an email, and email is info@platformfortheneedy.org, and my email is Waddell Stephen is WADDELL Stephen STEVEN and then you can also reach me on a WhatsApp number +256 782 442866. Thank you very much, Pastor, for giving me this opportunity, and I have a blessed night.
Okay. Webale munara goodbye to you all our dear viewers. Tujja kumaliza broadcast yaitu nekizina ekigamba ekirale by one of our traditional artists, Moses Kigamba Arali. So webale munarali ali abo bona barikwetaaga kufuna more information about Platform for the Needy. Kindly visit our website www.platformfortheneedy.org. Nimugirora iri ha screen nerolinga, so mukama bampera omugisa ninsima abo bona bari live nkujja kubabaza inywena amabara ganyu omu baitu nindora omu haribo barikweta Mr. Musa, nindoraho Mr. Musa are connected all the way. Musa Mugisa team is watching from Windhall, Namibia. Twine Kemerende Kellen is watching also, he's also live. Twine Mr. Mahmoud, this one is a sponsor, he's live from Pakistan. I will contact him. You know, I'm the ambassador for UAE now. So I will reach out to Mr. Mahmoud. He is a good potential sponsor. He's all the way from Pakistan. And we also have the team of Tooro in the United Arab Emirates. These people from the diaspora requested me to bring you again on this platform. That's why I reached out to you to request you to come and give more details about Platform for the Needy. In case there is any positive response, I will reach out to you immediately. So namaliza programu nekizina kyaitu ekibarikweta ekirale kya Tooro, mukama bampera omugisa tangatangane sande erikwija n'omusajja obu barikweta Mr. Muhammad Idrisa naija kuba nabazaho empako zaitu ez'Abatooro. Nimbagondeze ekiro ekirungi mwijuke. This program is all about promoting our culture, promoting our tradition. Our culture is our heritage and our tradition is our pride. So ntakamalirize arali takarugire mu studio nyina akantu kama akambaye nyetaga kukaguza. Oine idea ki ezokurora zikusobora kuyamba Tooro kugenda mu maiso, because nkaite nkabaki mu television tumanyire nti Tooro neraba mu promoting social work and other entrepreneurship businesses. Tooro nesobora kurakurana mu kuraba mu kwegesa abantu through education programming. So oine idea ki ezokumanya esobora kuyamba abantu baitu ba Tooro kugenda mu maiso, maybe emurundirire okumanya nti abantu baitu bamanye okukora kino ideas ezikuyamba abantu kugenda mu maiso. Might be helping government or helping our people physically.
Most of our people, as we talk right now, they still lack information. They are not knowledgeable. So they need a lot of awareness creation on healthy issues, on social and economic issues. So when you tackle the social health issues, so people will be will be wealth, because they will be able to work, they will be able to engage in different enterprises, and then they will achieve. Because we have seen government even giving, they are coming up with some of the programs, but you find people are protesting the programs even before they are involved, they are engaged in those programs. So which means they are not, they are ignorant. They don't know what is taking place and how they can achieve. So they need first to be educated, and when even so when they get the money, they are greedy. They eat the money. They share the money. You find it's the money is given to a group around maybe 20 million or maybe around 7 million, but the group members share the money. It does not go to the community, to the benefiting members, which is a sign of ignorance. It is a sign of corruption, and they are greedy. They mind about themselves, not minding about other members. But I believe that is because people have not got really education to understand how they can come out of poverty. What is poverty? What is bringing out of poverty? And how can you engage in income generating activities? So they need to get a lot of knowledge and information on some of different issues. Another thing is, after creating awareness, then the mindset changes. Then the mindset will change. They will know what to do, and then when they engage in a program, they will know how. They will first of all own the program, and then it will benefit them. But right now, as we talk, most of the Ugandans, I can say around maybe 65%, they don't own programs. They are not knowledgeable about what is taking place. They're just I don't know how I can turn them, but they just want to eat. They are like this our Lord, our Lord's prayer, our Father that give us today our daily bread. So they want to eat today, not forgetting that tomorrow is there. That is the problem. Secondly, they need maybe some entrepreneur skills, and where they can be trained in some entrepreneur skills on what to do. And after the skills, they need some seed capital, because yes, they may get the skills, and you find that they cannot do anything because they are incapacitated. They don't have financially, they are constrained. They don't have the finance, the like initial capital to start a business. So that is another problem. So when you come in with enterprises, entrepreneur skills, you train them. Then after training, they at least to give them some seed capital. Then when you give them the seed capital, they can do. So those are the major problems. So it is the initial capital. The first problem is the knowledge gap. The knowledge gap can be solved by intensifying on information, dissemination of information, and the creation of awareness. Then the second one is the skills, entrepreneurial skills. Then when trained with entrepreneurial skills, they can have they can be supported with finance, that's the city capital, and then they can do anything and they prosper. Otherwise, there are many opportunities in Uganda, but people cannot get involved in them.
Okay. Okay, webale muno bambi arali for very excellent answer and very genuine parental guidance. We really value your presence on Akim TV. Thank you for honoring our invitation, and we are very, very grateful to host a very great man in Tooro like you. So for us as Akim TV, we are currently uh, looking for sponsors. I mean, we are looking for speakers. We just need speakers who will teach our people to get more information on how they can be better. So if
Okay.
you are there now, you have information that anyone, like our dear viewers, if you are there, you need to be hosted and you have good information that can help our people to become more better, you are highly welcome. So nimbagondeze kile kirungi mukama bampera omugisa.
Amen.
Amen, amen.
Ekirale kyawe kiraha ubuntu ekirale binazi bubi ekimanyisa kolifano era ekirale kyawe kiraha ubuntu ekirale binazi bubi ekimanyisa kolifano era ekirale ekyomwebembezi waawe ekirale kyakolo kikaburanga hamwe mutombeka ekirale ekyomwebembezi waawe ekirale kyakolo kikaburanga hamwe mutombeka ekirale kyayo kyali kyamaani omu Uganda amahanga gagirorahoga kati kikawerekera kita Orukeya mwite tombeke ekirale tugare Tooro mu byafaayo ekirale ky'okusomesa Tooro yali kyokuroraho Galuhuma yali University y'ekitala hati mu matendekero abayituma b'ebyobuleme n'obutegeki kunuka gali matwale embuga hazitangatanganire emihanda yona noho yayolekeza ekirale kyawe kiraha ekirale bwinazi bubi ekimanyisa kolifano ekirale ekyomwebembezi waawe ekirale kyakolo kikaburanga hamwe mukombe ekirale kyokutunga mwenge giyona gali maso kente ebyamakana ebibanja nyinekana kagongo kona baitu watinohura mpikiza ndabe omukampu n'omubisini iwe k'omuntu embura kambyo y'ombekenju osomesa abaana byala emiti andika ebitabo otere ebizina ekirale ky'obumanzi ekinyakulinda ehanga abanyamwenge zali njokizibwa na muro ekirale kyabwe senkulu ekirale kyawe kiraha ubwo ekirale bwinazi bubi ekimanyisa kolifano ekirale ekyomwebembezi waawe ekirale kyakolo kikaburanga hamwe mukombeka ekirale oli mwebembezi weziringire kizibu kimaleho kyoleka ekirale kyawe abantu bakimanyire okamanzi okyungule kitweka bazamazima tungule kube kutero tasora kwedimira okawerekere zihanga kwenulisiriza nkuba kuheba hasa kukabembe mukusemeza abantu yumbekese enduto lunde kyombe kuba kwitukege sakira abantu enkurakura natema olugenda bakukuragira ekirale kyawe kiraha ubwo ekirale bwinazi bubi ekimanyisa kolifano ekirale ekyomwebembezi waawe ekirale kyakolo kikaburanga hamwe mukombe ekirale bagenzi bange busooka intu kibi kukuba mwebembezi mbakwetawo ekitinisa okaruga mu ntebeki otaine kirale barakwijukiraho kamukwebe mbera kwawe ekirale kyeka yanyu ekirale kyekika kyanyu ekirale ky'oluganda lwawe kiraha mugenzi wange kyekaguli oluganda olutaine ekirale murahire ruba rutweki ihanga litafiire yokombeka ekirale bantu inye ligoromoka ekirale kyawe kiraha ubwo ekirale bwinazi bubi bikimanyisa olifanohera ekirale ekyomwebembezi wawe ekirale kyatoro kitaburanga hamwe bwe mukombeka ekirale kyawe kiraha otaine yombeka ekirale abaana bawe n'abaijukuru ekibalisangaho n'ensi